As you know, it's available to an extraordinarily small percentage of Americans as it's written in this bill. In fact, most of the new aspects, whether it's the exchanges or the public option, are available to a very small percentage of Americans on a relative basis, and yet there are new taxes for all Americans going into this. Why are you so enthusiastic for the bill as it's written, considering how limited the availability of the public option, or for that matter, the national exchange is? And the employer-based system sort of stays intact, as it were.
Well, first of all, I think you're referring to the Senate bill, which really is much more limited. The House bill is much more expansive than the Senate bill. We need a robust public option, but the fact of the matter is we can do nothing. If we just don't pass a bill, the American economy is in deep, deep trouble. Back in the early 90s, when I first got into this with a single-payer universal health care program that became a national model, we had 10% of the total economic life of this country in health care. We're now at 17%. That's crowding out all of the other things we need to do, and the more we spend, the more uninsured we have, the more problem we have, and the worse health care statistics.
No, I totally agree. But isn't the reason that it's being crowded out because we're dealing with a monopoly insurance business that has a stranglehold on the product and prevents everybody, myself, other people, anybody, from being able to compete on the best plan? I can't go to the Mayo Clinic, even though I know the Mayo Clinic has better health insurance, unless I want to forego the taxpayer subsidy that's paid to GE and not to me. There are so many aspects of this that are just fundamentally un-American and anti-competitive that are not addressed, quite honestly, in almost any of the legislation, as far as I can tell.
Well, there's many things that we need to do, but if we stop now and do nothing, all of those problems that you just cited will only get worse. Now, I do think there's a very simple solution. Unfortunately, it's not before us right now, but the public option at least gets us in that path, and that is just take Medicare, wipe out the 65, write in zero. This problem is then solved. Send your premiums to the Medicare office rather than to the rip-off artist at the health insurance companies.